naughties, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. If you have read the title, then you guessed it. We are going to play. Let's talk about the double standard. I know this video is going to ruffle some feathers, and I've been thinking about it for a while. And something that I've noticed a lot in the exotical space is that we usually play really nice, right? When people come for us for no reason, a lot of times in our videos, in our talking points, and I'll like bring up EU for an example. I think that she's been very good at bringing up what do I want to call it? Do I want to call it like a contradiction? In general, she's been snatching wigs. So I would like to just kind of add on to some of the talking points that have already been out there. So often in our videos, when people are saying something to the light brights, to the high yellows, to the possi blancs, to the MLS, to the exoticals, um, it's so often things that we can't say back. And most of the time in videos, we give more so a hypothetical. We say, what if I said? What if I said? That's what a lot of us typically do. But today, we're dropping the what if. So today, I want to really talk about the dark skinned girl in your life. Is she really pretty? Or is she just dark skinned? Because you know what I notice all the time? I see like all these TikToks so often of like a dark skinned woman who's like talking about how light skinned women get hyped up. It will be like, oh, they're just hyping you up because you're light skinned. You're not pretty, or is she really pretty, or is she dark skinned? And what's so funny is this like, it wouldn't be so bad if it was like a dark skinned baddie. You know what I'm saying? Because like I definitely don't believe in like color wars, and I feel like in general, if you're watching this video and if you are of a darker complexion and you don't speak like this about light skinned people, then it shouldn't feel like the shoe is fitting, so it should not offend you unless maybe subconsciously deep down somewhere you really do feel like that. Does it bother you, the light skin pedestal? Does that really bother you so much? Because what I've noticed is that sometimes it can really become like a circular thing where it's like light skinned women are always getting accused of being uppity and thinking they're all that. But it's like, did we come out of the womb and think we were all that? Or did y'all keep telling us we were all that? And it's so funny because it's like most MLS people who have been put on a pedestal, they've been put on a pedestal by unambiguous dark skinned black people. Yeah. Because in the black women empowerment space, when it was time for the light skinned girl to speak up and talk about her trauma, or maybe talk about how colorism has hurt her as well, then we got thrown on a pedestal and said, oh, I know that you're like kind of technically actually black, but you're not black enough for me to give you my empathy. You're not melanated enough for me to see you as somebody who has valid pain and valid trauma. Because something that I've noticed in general, you can often tell how people feel, like where they rank in comparison to you due to their empathy. Now, a term that EU has coined that I agree with, and oh my God, I have been applying that to my life left and right, and I love it, is, I think it's her, selective empathy. I'm pretty sure that's her. I believe she also talks about selective authenticity. But if I'm making this up and I'm just like confusing selective empathy with selective authenticity, then that's my bad. Maybe I have brain rot or something, or in general, I just, I don't always keep up with everything so well. So like literally just tell me I'm wrong in the comments if I am. If you guys know that like, oh, she never said that, oh, then that's my bad, and read me for filth. But I feel like it can be I personally believe that most exoticals who express selective empathy towards the unambiguous community, it's actually reactive, and it's protective. It is keeping that same energy. It is ensuring that you're not overextending. It's making sure that, we are doing what we are entitled to do as Black women and go where we're celebrated. So I just think it's so funny. Like, I'm so tempted to just start, you know what? You know what? It's time. Literally, as I'm recording this, I think it's time to just start grabbing some pics and just start saying, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's too shady. Like, can you imagine if I were to go. Let me back up for my camera so I'm not like screaming in y'all's ears. I am so sorry for my bad audio sometimes. Um, but can you imagine if I were to just start screenshotting unambiguous dark skinned Black women and said, is she really pretty? Or is she dark skinned? Or is she just dark skinned? Because it's so funny how it's like, it's what's really weird to me is like, I feel like when you're light skinned, you're like the standard just goes way up. And I feel like that is something that EU has brought up in all of like these like the blunt girly critiques and stuff like that, is that like exoticals have to meet an Hollywood beauty standard, which is so crazy because you will literally have the most chopped in the face, bad built, bad body, looking like Mike Wazowski, 3 chins, like looking. Oh my God! Wow, I'm trying to watch my mouth because it's like I don't want people to start coming. Oh, actually, I don't care about people coming for me, but it's like, and I'm not saying this to be colorist, right? But it's like I wish I don't know if I want to go there. Maybe if I like maybe if this video gets like maybe I'll say like 200 likes cuz I don't think I'm still a very small channel. I don't think I've ever broken 200 likes before. If this video gets 200 likes, I might make a messier version of this video. You know what? If I ever make this video, this is something that, you know what? Y'all don't even have to like this video 200 times because this is just a video that I kind of want to make. I want to go around the internet, around TikTok and the rest of the interwebs, and screenshot the pictures of these unambiguous dark skinned Black women who are making all these like shady, messy types of TikToks, adding exoticals and stuff for no reason, being like, oh, is she really pretty or is she just light skinned? Okay, babe. Let's examine your face cards because it be the choppedest bitches in the world. I wish y'all could see my computer screen because literally I was about to snip it and then I was like, hold on. I'm gonna do that behind a paywall. I may be able to do a members page soon, and what else was I gonna say? Patreon, I will eventually get that up and running and figuring out like how to get the software running and all that stuff. I will eventually do that, so stay tuned. And also, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it in this video because next video that I record, I'm going to be talking about the giveaway because I'm already too far into the video, but I was supposed to talk about that at the beginning of the video. So stay tuned for my next video. I've just been very busy in my personal life, but I finally, and I've never done a giveaway before in my whole life. So I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to structure this? Like, but I kind of figured out what I want to do. But if y'all can see my screen, and this is not me being colorist because I am not colorist. I'm also not afraid of being called colorist because a lot of women, they will hide behind that insult. Am I colorist or are you just ugly? Am I colorist or are you just chopped in the face? And let me tell you something, because I'm not anti-Black like a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all will pull up a high yellow girl. Y'all pull up some exotical. Y'all pull up a mixed race girl and y'all will want to try to humble her or whatever. Sometimes preemptively, y'all just assume that girl has hella confidence because you're just projecting this whole lifestyle onto her. Although typically, yes, we have invalidated and do have confidence. But it's crazy because it's like they'll take a picture of a light skinned girl or whatever, and then they just point out anything that makes her look black, and basically, y- y'all expose yourselves every day. And I'm saying y'all not because it's my worldies. I know that if you're a worldie, like you're not like this. You don't have internalized anti-blackness. You're not sitting there trying to call people colorist every damn day just because they don't like you, just because you're actually fat or you're actually ugly. I don't know. Can I say fat on YouTube? I guess I'll find out. But oh, I had a video that I put up the other day that it was up for like 2 minutes, and then I realized that I said ninjas, but I didn't say ninjas. I said the actual word. And then I had to Google it. I was like, can you say that on YouTube? And I was like, oh, I don't think you can. So like I made that version private, and I had to go back and edit it and like cut that part of the video out, but I still have that like private on my channel. I have a decent amount of private videos just because um it's maybe something that I recorded, I uploaded, and I was like, I don't know, maybe this should be behind a paywall. Maybe I don't know. Like sometimes I'll throw something up, or maybe I can talk extremely vulgar at times. I can have a bit of a potty mouth sometimes. So I don't always want to put all that up on YouTube. Although I feel like over time I have gotten to dropping like full f bombs on YouTube, and I probably should not. Like I gotta stop doing that. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yo, the girl who's on my screen right now, like if y'all could literally see what I am looking at, isn't the thing that I think makes her look chopped in the face is not her black features. Like she has a phenotypically black nose. I don't think that's what makes her ugly. She has a dark skin tone. I don't feel like that's what makes her ugly. But she literally looks like a man, babe. She looks like a man. And she doesn't look like a man because she is dark skinned. She looks like a man because, like, she. Oh my God. I need to make this video and put it behind a paywall because, like, people would. They would not be able to handle the smoke. You know what's crazy is because, like, something that I really love about the exotical community is I feel like a lot of us are just so resilient. We are so good at social climbing. We are very good, I think, at alchemizing. I think other people have used that word before too. We're very good at taking negativity and fueling it. Um, like using that as fuel for our glow up, for our social climbing journey. For example, like depending on what type of environments you grew up in as a child, as an exotical, depending on if you have any unambiguous family, what your family dynamic could have been, your school situation, your neighborhood. I feel like a lot of, when you're in proximity to unambiguous dark skinned black people, um, whether or not they realize it, I think I don't think they realize it, but a lot of them, their whole mission when they meet you is to try to humble you. Like that's their whole thing. So it's like depending on where you are, like I do feel like there is a bit of an exotical self-love journey because it's so it's really sick because people were really like you could literally be beautiful, you could be all these things, and just from when you were a child you will have people who you just trigger all of their insecurities, all of their fear of rejection, all of their fear of abandonment, their fear of being replaced, all of that good stuff. You just trigger them, all of that, and they just like they go on literally like a military level type of mission where they are all synced up and they have ranks and formations and all that, where they are literally like, I feel like I wonder if this is a global thing. I really don't know, but they go on a whole mission. So then it's so funny because like then when a lot of us get older and then we realize certain things, like especially chopped in the face ass, bad body ass, unambiguous dark skinned black women, which let me tell you something, I like not every unambiguous dark skinned black woman is chopped in the face. Like and that's the difference between, I think a lot of exoticals and other people, where a lot of them, it's so like they I don't maybe it's like no pun intended, but they have black and white thinking. Like a lot of them, they have such a level of self-hatred that when you enjoy anything about you that gives you proximity to a non-black community, so you love your non-black mom. Like you don't hate your mom, you love your non-black side of the family. You love your 2% non-black ancestry because that's still part of your ancestry. Like they literally take you loving every single part of your ancestry, every single part of yourself, and they assume that literally they'll be like, "Oh, so you like your non-black mama?" Like they will literally read that as self-hatred. You loving and embracing your own family members, your own heritage, your own skin tone, your own eye color, your own features, your own hair color. You I'm gonna make a video about hair color one day because I think that that's a conversation that I haven't really seen on YouTube as far as the black community. But that's something that I don't think people always talk about when it comes to like the maybe the featureism conversation. Typically, we are talking about things like, I will say, eyes, cheekbones, nose, and lips are like the main features specifically I notice people talking about. But I think hair color also plays a big difference. Like it, and like having any feature that they pedestalize naturally triggers the fuck out of them. Like, let you be born with naturally light hair. They will make it their whole mission to try to find every picture of you from your entire life to track to see if you dyed your hair or if your hair is naturally that color. Same thing with your skin tone. They pedestalize your skin tone, and so they want to look at every single picture of you throughout your entire life. And they want to track. They will literally be sitting there tracking and being like, okay, right here, right here, she was a Fenty 320. Okay, and right here at the end of the summer, she was a Fenty 430. Oh my God, she's a bleacher. Like, it's crazy. But it's like the woman on my screen, she literally like, she looks like a man. And she doesn't look like a man because she's dark skinned. She looks like a man because she looks like a man. Like, that's all it is. I mean, she either looks like a man or she looks like a chopped ass woman. Like, it's one of, like, and I don't even want to be mean to womankind and say, like, oh, this is what, and like this is probably going to sound really nasty and stuff, but this channel is for people who have strong stomachs. This is for people who have nerves of steel. This is for people who this channel is for the people who they're not playing the double standard games no more, because a lot of people, when you allow yourself to you know allow people to treat you with some sort of double standard, or you reinforce the double standard by pandering and tiptoeing and everything. That's why so many people, like, they'll listen to our content and they'll hear the tone. And I brought this up before. It A lot of exoticals, we have wounds of injustice because a lot of us, like from childhood, depending on how our family was, our background, our neighborhood and stuff like that, um we didn't inherently think of we may have thought of ourselves as different, but we didn't think of ourselves as better. Like, we didn't. We A lot of us didn't have smoke for unambiguous dark skinned black women until adulthood. Most of us spent all of childhood, all of adolescence, um, basically being gaslit about our experiences and being told that we're not supposed to have pattern recognition, or that we're just feeling ourselves. We just think people are jealous of us, even when they like show very clear and direct signs of jealousy. People always trying to use humbling tactics on us. And so many of us, what I think is crazy is that when we were going through that, because I've talked to a lot of other exoticals in the space about their experiences, and even exoticals in real life that I don't talk to about the online exotical space, nor do I use the term exotical with them, but I more so talk to them about mixed race issues. It is wild that so many of us like we're conditioned into people pleasing, and we literally like allowed abusive behavior from the unambiguous dark skinned black community. We made excuses for them. Like, oh, well, the only reason that this woman is coming for light skinned women and trying to hold us to this Hollywood beauty standard and try to basically make us prove our beauty and basically. Like, that is so shady. Like, can you imagine if a white person said that about a black person? Can you imagine if even a light skinned person said that about a dark skinned person? Because what's crazy is people are always like, it's funny that when it's a light skinned person, when it's an exotical, you have to literally look like a celebrity that has a whole glam team all the time. If people can find you taking a picture at an awkward angle, they will. Which that if that has happened to you, that is only what women who feel inferior to you do. Like me personally, like, oh my god, one thing that I had to learn is like you have to really watch certain people. Like there's been times like, okay, everybody's had this experience of like you're taking pictures with your girlfriends or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, which one should I post? I want to post this one. And I literally have been in situations where like I look good in every other picture, and this bitch wants to literally post the picture that I look the worst in. Watch out for girls like that, because I am not like that. I swear to God, like when it comes to girls that I like, I don't even have the energy to be like that. Like the way that I am, like personally, I like to be surrounded around other girls who I feel like we have something in common that we can bond over, where we can build some sort of trust and intimacy between each other and be a safe space for each other. Because the type of women that I gravitate towards are the women who um, are talented, they're beautiful, they are feminine, and due to those things they have certain like pretty girl types of traumas in common with me. And so together we are able, I wouldn't say like unpack some of these things together, but it just feels so much like being seen, because the truth of pretty privilege is that not everybody has it. And so I do think that it can be so healing to your mental space and like your mental health and everything to, like, if you don't have any pretty girlfriends, get some, because I am telling you, it is just a whole different thing. Like I can't stand like just like, first of all, I am not a charity. I am Y World. I cannot stand when people feel like they're entitled to your friendship. They feel like they're entitled to sleeping with you. They're entitled to your warmth. They're entitled to closeness with you. They're like, babe, like you're not entitled to shit from me. You're not entitled. Like you're not getting any of it. Like, oh, it is so wild, because it's like I've been in spaces before where I just wanted to be all inclusive, I just wanted to, maybe originally my first instinct was, because a lot of us like we've gaslit ourselves. We originally caught a off vibe from a girl, or she expressed a certain view or something about somebody that, you know you how do I say this, that you can see yourself in, right? And you choose not to translate it to yourself. Like for example, for me, something I've noticed is I cannot befriend women who harshly critique female celebrities. I can't do it. I literally can't, because in general, women who feel like that, the reason that they are okay with harshly critiquing those women is because they don't see themselves in those women. And it's not because they feel like, oh, this choice that this woman made, I would never make a choice like that. And so that's why I don't see myself in her. No, I feel like even with the other pretty girls, when it's a female celebrity, you're looking at it like, okay, maybe I don't agree with her choice or how she handled this, but at the end of the day, because you have the experience of being maybe your local celebrity, maybe an Instagram celebrity, maybe a Facebook celebrity, you're sitting there thinking like, Like, I know that there are a lot of people speculating about my life. I know that I am in the spotlight. I know that people are making up rumors about me. I know that people villainize me. I know that people, like, especially I've brought up hyperfemininity before, but a lot of women they they always want to swear it's the hyper feminine woman. That is like one of the craziest things that I have realized over the last couple years, is that 9 times out of 10, the girl who's actually giving in to her feminine desires to express herself in a certain way, that is not the mean girl 9 times out of 10. But in the media, like, I feel like some of these movies must have been written by femcells or something like that, because that is the stereotype in the movie. That's the common movie trope. It's like the girl who's beautiful, has a nice body, wears her lip gloss, and, like, she's super snatched, and her hair is always looking good. They always depict that girl as being, like, mean. Like, not all the time, because, like, I'm thinking of Clueless. In Clueless, when you, like, the hyper feminine stereotype in that movie, it was more so like, kind of like, oh, like, pretty and stupid. But I've noticed that is a common stereotype that, especially in the real world, I feel like that is, I don't know what it is. It's like a gaslight. And it's like, let me tell you, when I meet a girl who's like, oh, she wants to talk about the makeup, she wants to talk about the lashes, she wants to, she's into the girly things, she likes the maintenance and all of that stuff, and she doesn't feel like, oh, that's doing too much. Like, it's not even that serious. The girls who actually give into all that, I get along with those girls, because those are the girls who are actually nice. Guess what? They don't have time to be haters. They don't have time to be bitter ass bitches, because they're literally busy getting their nails done. They're literally busy doing their hair. They're literally busy doing their skincare. They're literally, they're like meal prepping something. They're doing a cute artsy craft. They're redecorating their apartment. They're buying themselves something super cute off of, like, Shein or something like that. They're like, for example, I'll bring up Cozy K. I have talked about her to people before. I absolutely love her channel. She makes, like, cozy gaming, even, like, if you know what body doubling is, she makes content like that. Which, speaking of body doubling, I don't know if Bella Rain has released the video yet, but I support her channel and everything. And I know that she spoke about wanting to make body doubling content soon. So if you are interested in that type of content, there's Cozy K, who makes that type of content, and she is an exotical. I don't believe that she is, like, necessarily, like, publicly aligned with the exotical space or anything, but in general, I don't need somebody to have exotical in their name, or you know, talk about the exotical stuff or whatever for me to support them in general. And this is advice that I got from EU, not personally, but from her channel, talking about making sure that your feed reflects back women who you see yourself in. So most of the women that I follow, they're either some sort of, like, decentered type of woman. They what was I gonna say? Or they're an exotical, or even if they're not an exotical, it may be a woman who is just maybe non-black, that I feel like we have the same features. If I feel like I have a similar hair texture to somebody, or a similar aesthetic, like, I try to follow different people for different stuff. And in general, I've even gone through, like, if I have one creator that I will follow, and they're, like, maybe not necessarily an exotical, and I find another creator who is an exotical and makes content that I feel like is just as valuable as the other person's, if not more, I might even, like, replace that person in my subscriptions, just so I'm hearing it from a girl that, I see myself in. And you don't have to do that, but I do feel like it's good for me, and I like it. But with her channel, like, she really does, like, give, like, I feel like if you were to meet that girl in real life, like, she would be the nicest, the kindest, the sweetest. Like, because she doesn't have time to be a hater. She's busy like doing cozy gaming. She talks a lot about hobbies and stuff. So I believe that part of her story has to do with corporate burnout, and she like decided to make a change to live a lifestyle of making sure that she's not burning herself out and that she's replenishing herself and that she is living slow at times. And she talks about like brain on versus brain off hobbies and stuff like that, which, if you don't know, it's like there are some hobbies where it's like it might still engage certain parts of your brain and make you feel like you're doing work or something like that. And it's like sometimes you want that, sometimes you want something that's mentally stimulating, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want something where you can literally turn your brain off and you don't have to think about it. You don't like, so I really like her content. And she seems like very girly and stuff like that, and like the way she decorates her place is very like unique and cool and cutesy and stuff. When I see a girl like that, like I don't, this is just my opinion and it's not 100% tested theory, but I feel like the extra girls are the nice girls. They are the sweet girls because they have so much joy. They are literally like, they don't have time to be miserable because they literally just made themselves their favorite, coffee drink, or they just made themselves a yummy smoothie or something. Like all the girls who are doing all of the like aesthetic type of living, and you know I don't believe that they can be the mean girls. Now of course, there's nuance there that could be the case, but just in my experience, the girls who are into the maintenance, the glam, the stuff like that, and I'm not saying that, oh, if you don't wear makeup then you're mean and blah blah blah. That's not what I'm saying. But because people can have fluid identities and stuff like that. But that's just been something that I've kind of noticed. And then like the girls who are the meanest, it's the ones who don't wear a lick of makeup. They come out the house looking crazy all the time. They will buy everything in the most basic colors. They have no style. They just literally want to have clothes on and stuff like that. Like the girls who don't do anything special or cutesy or kind of childish or kind of girly and stuff. The girls, stay away from them bitches. I hate those girls with a passion because it's crazy. Because like every time you do something nice for yourself, something cutesy or whatever, and it's like you're not even like, oh my god, it grinds their fucking gears, because like that is part of feminine privilege in general, is that you live the type of life where you're not just so in survival mode that you literally, you're looking for a new phone case and you're like, okay, I only have like $2, so I have to get the basic ugly one that's black. Not saying that black is basic or ugly, but I have to just get the cheapest one or whatever. That's scarcity, that's survival mode, versus feminine privilege and abundance is, ooh, I want to get that one, that's so cute, oh, it's $20 more, I can afford it because it makes me happy and I know that it's worth it, because every time I look at it, it's gonna make me happy, it's gonna make me excited. Like even in like your workout stuff or whatever, like I that it has been something that changed my workout routine, and that's something, that's why I love the exotical community, because I got that from other exoticals and stuff. um Before, when I used to struggle with my weight, like literally the other day, this is what's so crazy about like living life on easy mode, which is another video I want to talk about. Like when you just like stop having limiting beliefs, and you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you know how to be disciplined and balanced, and you learn your body and everything like that, and you focus on yourself. I ate 3 cupcakes the other day and I woke up the next day a pound lighter, and I didn't only eat 3 cupcakes. Like it's just crazy how like, yo, and you, man, and little things like that will piss a girl off, because there's a person who's like in my life, not somebody who is a friend, because I'm not gonna call you, I'm not a fake ass bitch, I'm not gonna call you a friend and I don't like you. You will be an acquaintance, you will be a person that I see at XYZ. That's all you're gonna be. And I will not I'm not going to say that, because I have another video. I'm going to be talking about dark femininity and weaponizing your femininity soon. Or I don't know if I already talked about weaponizing your femininity, but yeah, I'm going to be making some content like that. Some of that might have to go behind a paywall though, because there are some dark tactics that I use that I don't know if I want those all out in the open. But literally to that, like, yo, when you're, I was literally thinking about that big back and I wanted to get under her skin. I was just thinking about it and I was like, I should tell her that I lost weight after eating 3 cupcakes. That's so nasty. Like I shouldn't even do that. And I didn't do that because I'm like, that would be so nasty and I'm not even that girl. Um, I'm a regular person. I don't try to perform niceness. I don't call myself a nice girl. I call myself a kind girl. So maybe that's more so what I should say. I think the women who I think the women who are the girly ones and stuff like that, they are the kind women where they are not overextending themselves, but they are genuinely kind when they feel called to do so. And then I feel like the other women who are like the basic dusties and pygmishas and stuff, the male centered women, blah, 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 I feel like a lot of them, they're not kind. What they are is they are nice. They are performing niceness. They are trying to fake as if they are nice and stuff, but those are the nobody's gonna talk about you like a dog, like a woman who is like I don't want to say like tomboys or like that because it's not that it's the tomboys. I feel like it's not tomboys. Like it's got to be another word. It's just basic bitches. Like I don't know, women who are like. It's not that they're a tomboy. They're not some sort of LGBT or something. They're straight. They're heterosexual. But what it is that they're male centered. And I think a lot of them, what's so crazy, if you ever notice this about male centered women, what I notice is that the women who are like maybe like dressing like damn near like it's a cosplay or something like that, or like they're dressing like very hyper feminine and stuff, we know that like the way I think of it is that the like dressing like a princess is like playing into like the girly side of you versus like dressing kind of like a bombshell. It's like that's more so for like the male gaze and stuff like that. It's more so like playing into the woman or the sexy part of you. Um, 9 times out of 10, whether or not like men, if they depending on the man and his mindset, if he wants to secure you and exploit you, he's going to try and uplift the modest stereotype, the not extra, because then he can once he gets a girl like that, then he doesn't have to, he's able to go 50-50 with a girl like that because none of her money is spent on a massage, on, going to hot yoga, going to, get K-tips, going to, get her hair done, going to get some highlights, going to Sephora and just shopping around for stuff, just going out with the girlies, going to buy something random and cute, he doesn't want the girl who wants to do that because it's like she's gonna be sitting there just bringing herself joy, and it's like if you're really joyful, you're not gonna make a good wife slave. So, they don't want that. But I feel like if they want a woman, for their pleasure, then they will want the sexy, the woman archetype. But I feel like the girly type of archetype doesn't necessarily hit their fantasy all the time. Now, sometimes, like if you want to get into like Lolita and like coquette and stuff like that, sometimes that can. But I will say 9 times out of 10, when a woman's dressing more so like the girly hyper feminine, she's dressing that way for herself because like I mean, that's just my opinion because it brings her joy and stuff like that. It seems like a joyful thing. I don't ever see men going around saying like, "Oh, my favorite thing is when a girl is wearing, literally fluffy ruffly." Like I've never seen a man say like, "Oh, this is my favorite style." Now there are some men who do like that type of stuff, just the same way that like guys want like an emo girlfriend or like a goth girlfriend. Some guys, they might want like a coquette type of Lolita type of cutie girlfriend. Because even men are not a monolith either, but these women, they I keep saying this, like they don't realize they fell for the okie doke, like basic ass bitches. But I feel like I'm running off onto a tangent just because it's like I sometimes I just start conflating a whole bunch of different things as I'm talking about a topic. But to bring it all back around, I do think that it's absolutely insane that in 2025 on Beyonce's internet you have so many videos that you could come across of chopped in the face, unambiguous dark skinned black women trying to trying to question the beauty of a random light skinned woman. Like, and that's what's so crazy. It's like sometimes it'll be them specifically talking about something. Like I seen people say, of course people want to talk about well, yeah, I don't think people ever really said positive things about Tiny. Let me think about somebody. Oh, I'll use Hallie. Yeah, people will say that about Hallie. People talking about her eyes. It's so crazy. People are so weird because it's like you want to talk about her eyes being a certain width apart, but it's like, can you imagine if you were to say that you felt like a dark skinned woman was ugly, and then they, of course, were to call you colorist, and then you say, "Oh, no, 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 it's not your skin tone, it's your nose." It's not your skin tone, it's your lips. Like, can you imagine if you were to specifically point out features on an unambiguous dark skinned black woman that you felt like made her ugly? Can you, like, yo, like, they would literally, like, they would be ready to grab the pitchforks and come burn your house down. Like, it's so crazy how the double standard is. But that just goes to show, um, you are, I guess, the beauty standard. I guess we're the blueprint, because it's like they'll, even though they'll say that specifically about, I think Danny Lay is somebody that I can think of that that was said about, as well as like Hallie, where they were pointing out specific features. I think people did that to Lotto as well, pointing out specific features of these. Like, come on, man. Like, and it's never a bitch who looks better than her. And then it's crazy because if you were to say that, they'll be like, "Oh no, you're only conditioned to see her as more attractive because she's light skinned. And it's your conditioning that makes you think I'm ugly." No, you are ugly. You act an ugly. I should have. People like. I want to touch on the ugly thing since that's kind of the topic. Me personally, like, I'm never just calling somebody ugly because I don't like their features and I don't like how they look. I feel like I've already expressed this in another video, but sometimes some of my videos never see the light of day. So I never know if you guys have actually heard me say certain things or not yet. But it's not because of how, like, when I call somebody ugly, it's literally, it's always first that they acted ugly towards me. And then I was like, well, of course you acted ugly towards me because you was physically ugly. Like, and that's just how it is. Like, for me, it's like, I feel like if you're pretty privileged and you act ugly, it might, like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna make you down to like medium ugly, but if anything, it's, you're not gonna go from being pretty privileged and then you act nasty or catty or something, and then all of a sudden you then look like Sid the Sloth. I actually had somebody in my comments say before, like, "Oh, you are only as pretty as how you treat people," and that is not the case. If that was really the case, you wouldn't have so many women online complaining that they can't find all the qualities that they want in the same man, because they would be getting with all of those men who are like ugly incels but claim they're gonna treat you so, like, treat you so right. They would be with those men. Like, everybody would have an ugly husband if that was the case. Like, because man, I'm telling you that no, that's not the case, and women be knowing that, because I've even talked to women who I'm caught, like, if that's gonna be my disclaimer, if I'm ever calling a woman looks challenged or straight up ugly or fugly, it's because, like, it's a whole life that you don't know. So maybe I gotta give more of the backstory of things first. But no, it's always like, you acting ugly, and then I look at you and I'm like, you're not even cute enough to be trying to act like that, because, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, when it comes to like women who are like gorgeous and stunning, I project onto them that they've likely had pretty girl traumas and pretty girl PTSD. So if they have a wall up, or if they have like developed a certain type of personality in order to protect themselves, or in response to that, or if they've got hypervigilance or anything like that, I actually don't take it a certain type of way. I will actually empathize with that because I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But like, I'm assuming that you are on guard because of this, that, and the third. And I don't even deal with girls who are, I, mm, let me really think about my, I shouldn't call them my ops because I don't have ops, but have I ever had an op that was like somebody that I thought experienced pretty privilege? Um, no, no. Let me really think. Okay, no, no, no. I have had one girl who was an op who was actually very pretty, but she was really male centered, and she was hella thirst. Maybe I'll tell that story one day. So okay, I stand corrected. Yes, people can be acted a certain type of way. No, people aren't always acting like that just because they're chopped in the face. But I just feel like if you're gonna be mean to me, why can I not call you chopped in the face? Like at that, like I'm in that way. Like because I stay in my own little bubble. I'm sorry, my neighbors are being loud. But like the psychology of the big back that started because I was experiencing tons of microaggressions from a big back. When I talk about women who are looks challenged, it's because I've been experiencing microaggressions from women who are looks challenged, and it becomes like a oh, you start looking over your life or whatever, and it's in situations where you're not doing anything to bother somebody, and then you're like, oh, and pattern recognition. Oh, okay, so when a woman's looks challenged, she might start acting like this towards me. Oh, when a woman is a big back, she might, because according to the data that I have available to me, that has gone on. But I just really wonder, like, why is it that unambiguous, like chopped in the face? Because it's like I'm trying to think of I've never seen like a really beautiful dark skinned woman say that. It's always like the women who what I think it is that because I typically see it from unambiguous dark skinned black women. I think that a lot of them um they really hate their features. Like I think sometimes what it is with a lot of them is that they just don't understand certain things. Because like I'm looking at two women who I have on my screen right now and that have been on my screen as I've been recording this, and it's like something I noticed that the two of them have in common is that they are both big backs. And so I wonder if what's going on is that certain women who feel undesirable in society, where unambiguous dark skinned black women who feel as though they're at the bottom of society, and then on top of that they also are big backs, so they're dealing with health issues and being out of breath all the time, and you know uh, digestive issues and whatnot. um I wonder if it's that because they have not yet reached their own full potential and maxed out their own beauty, that they sometimes see an exotical who does not pass for white, and like they want that woman to have the same insecurities, or they want that woman to be perceived the way that she feels that she's perceived. But your weight will play a role in your level of attractiveness, because when you are much heavier, like if you've lost a significant amount of weight, look back at your old pictures and you are probably going to feel like, oh my God. Because at the end of the day, it's like, which is why it's very, like, it's very hard for me to, like, and I think it's hard for a lot of people. It's really hard for you to, um, I think, call women looks challenged or ugly when they have like real, like when they're at a very healthy weight and they are not experiencing like the puffiness that like big backs and stuff will have. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times what might make somebody looks challenged is their weight. It's the fact that, like, at least this is in my opinion, your features are not even doing as much for you. It's like your face card. It's almost like how it's like it got, like, there's an issue with the mag strip or something like that, or like your chip isn't working, like the tap to pay and the insert. It's like something is wrong with your face card, but it's like you could contact your bank and be issued a new card. You might just have to wait a little bit of time. Like some women, it's like your features aren't even popping out for people to really see, what makes you so beautiful. Like I feel like if you take the same woman and make her like 200 pounds heavier, she's not necessarily going to go towards being ugly, but I feel like it can be, she might have to work overtime in other areas in order for her beauty to really shine through, because people are, depending on how she's shaped or whatever, Like if she's a BBW, she's probably not having those issues. If she just has a face card that just never declines, because some people, the way that I will say their face shape is and their bone structure, some people can still look very beautiful, even at the much heavier weight and stuff like that, just because. Certain face shapes, they just always, I would say, like, if you have, like, more, this is my opinion. I feel like if you have a rounder face shape, even when you're smaller, then if you were bigger, you wouldn't necessarily look like your features were totally different. I mean, but in general, if you're bigger, your face is gonna look much different. Your neck is gonna look different. Your décolletage and everything is gonna look different. Um, but I feel like a lot of women who are experiencing thin privilege, I think part of the reason that it's easy for them to have pretty privilege with that is because people can actually see their features. Like I like right now on my screen, um, I have this unambiguous dark skin big back who was talking about how, oh, is she pretty or is she light skin? And then on the side, because it was a video that it popped up in my algorithm because in the title this video has light skinned in it, and so stuff like that, because I make content about colorism, um will pop up on my algorithm. But then the other stuff that's in my algorithm, which is literally my side pane, like if you ever are on YouTube on a laptop and you have like a video up and you know how you can see all those videos down the side or whatever, I see a whole bunch of like pretty, excuse me, I see a lot, I'm sorry, I keep getting the hiccups randomly, but I see a lot of pretty, beautiful, stunning exoticals, and I notice that I actually see their features. Like I feel like they would be like more fun to draw. Like I saw this before where it was something where it was like somebody said something to the impact of, like, their insult to somebody is like, oh, you look like you're easy to draw. Like, why is that an insult? I think part of the reason that they would say that's an insult is because when you're really beautiful and like breathtaking and stunning, you have very distinct features about you, to the point where if somebody were to draw you, they would really, because your face is not all puffy hiding your actual bone structure, they have to actually get your bone structure right, or you're not actually going, or the picture is not going to look like them. It might look like somebody who's related to them, but it wouldn't actually look like them. They actually, you can see more intricacies to their face, to their nose, their bone structure, their jawline, and everything. And you would have to work harder to get them right, because their face is more detailed. And I feel like that is part of the thing that we may register as beauty sometimes, is somebody having features that we could actually really identify. I think that maybe if somebody looks like, maybe that's what it is. If they look like you would have to take time to draw them to really capture their beauty in their essence, then maybe that's part of what makes somebody so beautiful. Versus the woman who's on my screen, literally she would be so easy to draw, because I'm trying to think about like her head, like she looks like she almost kind of looks like a chipmunk because her cheeks look so big. So it's like, and her features, like, there nothing is really popping out or standing out as being really beautiful or anything, because everything is just so puffy. And so I'm not an artist, I could draw this woman in like 30 seconds flat, because it's just like a big ass circle for the head, because she's got so much extra weight on her that, like, I don't even know where, like, I'm low key, like, I'm looking at her nose right now and I actually can't even really tell what shape it is, because everything is just so puffy around there. I would draw, a big oval, I would include the chubby cheeks, and then I would just kind of draw something kind of roundish around the nose, some, big looking lips. I don't really see anything that kind of stands out with this woman. And this is like, no, this is not shade towards a skin tone. This is this is a woman of a darker complexion who is she's shading my skin tone. So yeah, I'm gonna shade you back if you're shading me and everybody who look like me. Because I'm the same way, where it's like, this is how I am, to where if I see a woman, who's like not the same phenotype as me, but she's shading someone who is my phenotype, or these ladies that got pulled up on my screen, they're shading just the entire group. They're not even saying Lotto, Danielle, Halle Bailey, like Chloe Bailey. They're not even talking about a girl who just fits into my phenotype. They're talking about all of us. Like, and it's crazy because it's like, it's funny because isn't it weird how usually they can't even agree on who is light skinned, and then all of a sudden, if you're getting hyped up, if people are calling you pretty, then all of a sudden you are light skinned and you are not pretty, you are just light skinned. Like, that's wild. Like, that is, oh. But I'm tired of talking about this topic now because it's like, the longer that I talk about this, the more I'm tempted to start taking screenshots and tearing apart. Because at the end of the day, if you're a content creator, you know, you have a pedestal too. You are just as much of a celebrity, and the same way people will make the excuse for tearing down celebrities to, oh, well, they have all this money and fame and they probably didn't even see it. And da, da, da. Okay, well, if you're a creator too, yeah, then I'm going to say, well, you know, you have a pedestal too, and you probably have so many followers that you wouldn't even see this video. And I'm just so tempted to just tear them apart like they're up on the pedestal that we are on. But I'm not going to do that. I feel like I've expressed my thoughts on this. But what did you think, worldies? Do you ever get tempted to, instead of saying just what if we were to say XYZ, and just do it? Same thing with things like if you're more petite, you know, I make content about big back beluga sometimes. Have you ever wondered what would happen in general if you are the pedestalized person and you're dealing with these microaggressions? Have you ever been tempted to give it right back to them? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.